Everybody, welcome on out to another summer sizzle episode of Cult Classics vs. Comedians, recorded here on Andrew Jensen's back porch because we couldn't find a location this time. So welcome and thank you, Andrew. So today on Cult Classics vs. Comedians, we have a...
Fly.
Oh man, that's the wrong episode.
It's the wrong movie.
Oh, anyway, we have a film that is yours. This is your film.
Oh, it is?
It is your film.
All right, well, my film was Drop Dead Fred. And it's a film from my childhood as well. But Drop Dead Fred is about a girl named Snotface. Snotface is a little girl who has a friend, an imaginary friend, named Drop Dead Fred. They don't call him Fred, they call him Drop Dead Fred. They don't explain why they call him Drop Dead Fred. Yeah, they don't explain why they do that. But she has this imaginary friend who does things with her that are so extreme that any parent in the world would be super pissed off about.
Oh, Grandma Buns!
She grows up, gets fired, and then goes back home and opens up Drop Dead Fred, brings him back because she lost the love of her life. And the reason why Drop Dead Fred won't go away is because she hasn't fallen in love. And then, you know, she finds out that her love of her life is obviously banging some other chick.
Of course.
And
Of
yeah,
course.
I know.
Classic.
And I forgot the love interest
Classic.
in the movie isn't as good as the other movie, so I haven't mentioned it. But I think it ends up pretty good. But it's a movie from my childhood. Anyways, that's the explanation. Too much?
No, that's perfect. Perfect.
No.
Eileen, now you mentioned that this was a movie from your childhood as well.
Yeah, well, this will surprise everyone, but being homeschooled in Montana, a mile from my nearest neighbor, I didn't have a lot of friends. So I had imaginary friends.
Yes, the only kind of friends to have.
But I
What
did.
were some of the name of your
I
imaginary
had three.
friends?
Ooh.
They were Lieutenant.
Of course, a man
Top
in
of-
uniform.
No
A man
wonder
in
you
uniform.
introduced it first.
He was my part-time boyfriend.
Yeah. Part-time.
Kezra,
Kezra?
he was my other part-time boyfriend.
Oh.
And then Fancy, who was my my gal pal / frenemy.
Oh,
Because
really?
obviously, even at
She
a
was
young
trying to hook
age,
up
I had
with-
learned that women are here to compete against each other.
Pretty catty.
So we
and you
were
got two
competing.
men, yeah.
It was this love
Damn.
quadrilateral. Is
It's
that
like
I don't know. It was a
yeah,
square.
It's like a four-wheeler of love.
Yeah. So it was high drama. I don't know what else to
thank
say.
you,
Like
Sandra.
in my mind, I was quite the diva.
Yeah, you were. Damn. Leia.
So Drop Dead Fred is nothing like my imaginary friends because
no.
we didn't cause any trouble. They just gave me like joy instead
Yeah.
of, anxiety. Every time I watch them make a mess in this show, I
Oh
just
my-
am racked with anxiety. I'm
Yeah.
like, who is cleaning this
control.
up?
Yeah.
Why? I would lock Fred away.
Yeah.
When I was first watching it, like, my theory was, okay, well, she's mentally ill. This is probably her way of, like, processing trauma, dealing with the stresses of home life.
Mega bitch.
Mega bitch.
Mega bitch.
She finds out that her, husband is cheating on her. That triggers the episode, and this Fred manifestation comes back. That part of her that she used to cope and survive, which I think would have been more of an interesting angle to take it, instead of him being kind of this weird minor chaos deity.
Those breaking noises!
Oh, that's not it at all. He really is the classic imaginary friend when she's in the clinic with all the other children
Their
who have their
friends, yeah.
own imaginary friends.
And
She
then, which
can
is
only-
an awesome scene, by the way, when all the
yeah.
imaginary friends get together. It's like Inception of that, because only
Yeah.
the imaginary friends can
See
each
their
other.
friend,
Yeah.
yeah.
What are you doing?
I am playing with my friends.
A lot of them are kind of terrifying, actually. Like if you
Oh,
met
yeah.
them in a dark alley.
No, yeah, they're definitely like full-grown men that are like.
Like Drop Dead Fred is the less pedophilic of
Of
all
all
of them.
them.
Yeah. Because every other one was like, dude, I wouldn't want that as an imaginary friend. He'd be touching me. Yeah.
Does your imaginary friend drive a van? Why does he have a van? Yeah, it's just it's
She
kind of
lucked
weird.
out. She lucked out.
Even the lady in the ballerina outfit was a little
Yeah.
disconcerting.
Yeah. A cool thing I thought in this movie, Carrie Fisher was in this movie.
Yeah.
And she does awesome. I love the scene where her boyfriend, you know, her side piece, comes downstairs.
He wants
and he's like,
Am I missing something? Is this a girly thing?
It's a creative visualization. She has an imaginary friend.
Oh. I never had imaginary friends. Just wet dreams.
came out of nowhere, and I laughed so loud at that one.
I did
just
too.
that
I was
one
like,
little thing.
wow, I've seen this movie a lot, but not as an adult.
Yeah. I do have to admit something. I don't know if I'm going to be ashamed to admit this because I'm the oldest one here,
Really?
and I have kids, and I cry at movies all the time.
Oh.
No matter, and it's the stupidest things. So I'm watching Drop Dead Fred. I'm just like, this movie is retarded. This is dumb. I hate this. And then like the scene where Drop Dead Fred's he's like, you gotta go, and I've gotta leave you. I was just like, and I'm like fighting this. I'm like, don't. See, I'm almost tearing up now thinking about it. I can't handle separation anymore in movies. And so I was so glad to see that he isn't really gone.
No, he moved on to
Spoiler
another
alert.
little girl.
Yeah, he's just moving on like every pedophile ever.
Imaginary friend,
Yeah,
whatever.
he would just be like, that's done. You're way too old now.
That scene where they're at the wine tasting party and he starts sliding around on the floor and then he looks up that lady's skirt and she's not wearing panties. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, his
he's-
eyeballs do the cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Yeah.
But how about when he does it to the mom? Like he slides under the mom. He's like, oh look, cobwebs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a whole, Eileen, how are you feeling about this movie, Drop Dead Fred?
Well,
I wanted to wait till you were.
it's funny you
Perfect
should
timing,
ask.
Jamie.
I don't think I would recommend it to anyone. I mean, it won't hurt you to watch it,
like physically, it won't hurt.
but I don't know if
Mentally.
you'll like it either. So maybe just do something else.
So
you. Yeah, there you go.
I concur with Eileen's assessment of the film. And I think it was kind of one of those, wasted opportunities. Could have been a fascinating character study, and is she mentally ill? Is she not? But they pushed it so hard for over-the-top slapstick humor that it was hard to sympathize with the character sometimes.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'd ever seen it, and I'm like, the parents' reaction to these antics perfectly justified.
Normal.
Yeah.
This is
They're
madness.
like, I would have done worse. I would have been like, wah, wah, wah.
I was
Yeah.
surprised the dad was so like, you can't be so mean to her.
Did you see what she
I'm
did?
like,
With,
yeah.
And I don't know. I definitely felt like it was kind of a wasted opportunity.
Yeah. Look,
Can I also add that the person who really has issues is Mickey, the guy who was so
The guy in
desperate
love,
to date
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
That's his name, Mickey.
You are crazy in the most wonderful way. God, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could do those kind of things. What the hell?
He's like, Mickey, get some help.
yeah, he seemed a bit desperate.
Someone's been abused.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Jeez. And so,
Wait.
hold on. There you go. Get a mouthful.
Get a mouthful.
Eat it in. Breathe it in. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't talk about it right now.
Well, let me tell you about my take on the film.
Oh,
Yeah, I would scrape paint before I'd watch this film. I would maybe, I don't know. It like you guys said, it had a lot of potential. It could have really dived in, but it was like they were trying to do some deep meaningful movie with fart jokes throughout the whole thing. It was just over the top slapstick humor, and it didn't hit. It did have a couple moments where I laughed and had it.
Yeah.
And you cried.
And I cried. So it covered the gamut. I should be recommending this film at this point.
Can't unwatch it.
But yeah, you can't unwatch this one. No. So yeah. So you like this movie? Obviously, you recommended it.
I recommended it to you guys, knowing that you would watch it. Yes. The only way I recommend this movie is, have you seen Drop Dead Fred? And people say no, I'd be like, it's all right. That's it. Yeah.
You should really build it up so they go home and watch it.
Yeah, I think if they're on the same wavelength, it's just like with Jared Hess films. It's like if you're on the same wavelength, hey, give it a watch because you might like it. But it's one of those things that you had to watch it as a kid. And I think it was one of the first movies I ever saw that was, hey, it had adult humor in a kid's show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't extreme, like, it wasn't as hidden as like movies are nowadays. Like nowadays they're super hidden and only adults get them.
Yeah, through good writing.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Is like that's what this movie does. It's like you start to like it and then you start to just not like it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those films where you're like, this is not that good, but it's got good moments.
Yeah, it does.
So, you can watch it.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
If you've seen all the ISIS beheading videos,
you
go ahead and watch Drop Dead Fred.
Really?
You can handle this.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll leave it on that note right there. I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode of Cult Classics for versus comedians, not for comedians. It would be great if we were doing a fundraiser called, please, all these homeless comedians, we need to get some money for them. Go fund them, please.
Honestly, I know some people who
Yeah.
could use some help.
A lot of homeless comedians.
There is.
And I wouldn't mind watching them fight.
Homeless comedian fighting. That would be sweet. Yeah. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this episode. Again, we want to thank our sponsor, Big Shiny Robot, for sponsoring this. We want to thank Andrew and his lovely wife for allowing us to come out here and ruin their perfectly good deck out here. So anyway, we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Oh, how can everybody follow you guys before I forget?
Eileen Dobbins, you'll find me.
Google search
You're
it.
smart.
Something. Nicholas.
Follow Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, Nick Smith Comedy.
Troy, how about yourself? Perfect, right? That's exactly where you can find him. And then I'm just Jamie Maxfield somewhere on the internet. You can find me anyway. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.
Ooh.